This baby deer might not be the most clever yet, so he's very lucky to have some kind hunters nearby. After being stuck in a fence for hours and finally freed, the young fawn ran to the other side of the property and got stuck in another fence.
And he went through the fence.
We're naming him Fence Fawn.
It's Fence Fawn. Fence Fawn.
The fawn was eventually freed for the second time and safely transported to a trail several hundred feet away where it could return to the foothills and reunite with its mother. This skunk had already lost hope that anyone would come and save it. That was until this man gave it quite a surprise.
Don't try to flex on me. Get out of here.
If, like me, you thought that quicksand was just something that Hollywood made up, then you're wrong. In only a matter of hours, a huge camel was stuck in quicksand right up to its chest. By the end of the day, no one would have even known that it was there, but luckily, someone noticed the animal just in time and helped.
Yay! Woo! Well done, everyone!
This Ukrainian soldier risked his life to evacuate a hamster left in a village that was hit with missiles. This is why we need traffic police. This man freed an owl tangled up in a net. The bird's expression really conveys how happy it is. These people in Iceland rescued young puffins that came down from the mountains in search of food and couldn't fly back. The locals managed to capture them, take them to the mountains, and release them. A cat got stuck in a small crack between two walls and was begging for help. They had to break down one of the walls to get the poor animal out.
So happy.
Couple are not only heroes. This cat managed to get its head stuck in a container after attempting to steal some milk in India. But thankfully, the locals were not mad at the cat for trying to steal their milk, and the container was eventually pulled off the feline's head and it was set free.
Helping a deer is noble but dangerous. Thankfully, it didn't get stuck again immediately after being freed. This pig nearly drowned during Hurricane Ian, but the rescue team got there just in time. This poor deer was stuck in the silt. Thank goodness humans invented excavators. This bird swallowed an entire plastic bottle and would have been dead if it weren't for this person who managed to extract it. Yet another argument against using plastic. A bear cub was trapped in a barbed wire for 8 hours as it tightened around its front paw. Trying to free itself, the bear was scratching and biting the wires. It was spotted by local farmers who called the rescue team, which then managed to untangle the animal and administer first aid treatment. Divers rescued a 30-ton humpback whale that got trapped in an illegal fishing net. These fishermen found a crab with a barnacle attached to its mouth and helped the animal get rid of the uninvited guest. They even gave the crab some fish. This guy noticed a strange bag in the river. When he opened it up, he learned that this was a result of someone being extremely cruel. The puppy was barely breathing. But thankfully, they managed to bring the poor animal back to life, and now it's safe and sound. This guy is helping a snake that tried to climb through a hole that turned out to be too small for it.
found itself washed far from shore and in the middle of heavy boat traffic. But luckily, these guys just happened to be passing by and offered to give him a free ride.
No se cae. Llévela. Se cree que es Superman. Superman. You shouldn't feel like a fish out of water. There you go.
When James saw a Facebook post about some deer stuck in the middle of a frozen lake, he called up his dad and they broke out their hovercraft.
Let's grab that other leg.
They pulled off a father-son rescue mission unlike anything you've ever seen. A humpback whale, one of our planet's most majestic creatures, was found stranded on a beach in Brazil. Astounding footage taken by amazed onlookers shows how tears stream down the whale's face as if it's mourning its own death. But then, the unthinkable happened. These heroes came together and managed to push the whale back into the ocean, saving its life.
Tourists noticed a dolphin stuck in shallow water, so they released it back to the open sea. This guy is risking his life to help a dog that fell out of a window and was basically trapped on an AC unit. Take a look. The dog clearly understands what to do. Thankfully, this story had a happy ending. This blind camel was wandering through the desert in search of water for a long time. And this man came up with a way to give it water by luring the animal near a large bowl using sounds of water. These firefighters pulled a cat out of a burning house, and now the rescue team is trying to bring it back to life using an oxygen mask. This man decided to free the wolf even though the animal tried to bite him several times. But at least it looks like the wolf felt bad once it was rescued.
Goodbye.
This cat was hopelessly trying to climb out of the water. It was very lucky that there were people passing by at that very moment. And this very attentive girl helped a hermit crab find a new home. And this rhino had its head stuck in a bucket, probably the clumsiest rhino in the world. Let's just pretend that this leopard was trying to ask for directions to the nearest village.
Circumvent man-made infrastructure to carry on with your grazing journey is really difficult for wild animals, like this deer who had to jump over a fence but got its foot stuck in a difficult position. But thankfully, there are people like this guy who go out of his way to free the poor animal. Might be cute, but they're not the most clever animals out there. Here's another cow that got stuck in the mud where farmers had to drag it out with a tractor. A man's quick thinking saved this little kitten from being run over by a car. A woman rescues a clumsy kitten from being buried under the snow. It's not always animals that need support, sometimes humans do too. So when this farmer felt sad and lonely, these dogs fetched the cows to cheer up their owner together.
This cow must have wanted to sit in the chair, but didn't quite know how to properly use one.
Oh, perfect.
Just look how high this man had to climb to rescue a cat stuck in a pine tree next to him. First, he tried tying the trees together, but that wasn't effective. In the end, he managed to pull in close enough to grab the cat. If it weren't for this kind woman, the cow would still be standing there waiting to cross.
Она просто сидит. Она дождалась и пошла.
This Ukrainian man is on the mission to clean up a local river, and while he's doing that, he also managed to rescue a duck tangled in netting.
This man put his own life in danger to save a distressed wolf. The man used his one hand to try and free the wolf's paw from the trap, while using his iron rod to safely keep the beast at a distance. The animal was in excruciating pain, so it took him a few tries. But when it was finally released from the trap, the dangerous animal stayed there in a tense standoff with its savior.
Get out of here. Go on. He's exhausted.
Wildlife workers in Kruger National Park in South Africa found a buffalo herd that was stuck in mud. They had tried all night to get out, but instead, they had just sunk deeper and deeper. Now, buffaloes, especially when they're in distress, are very dangerous to approach, making it a very risky rescue mission. But these guys decided to take that risk in order to save them. After getting all that help from wildlife workers who saved their lives, this is how the buffaloes thanked them.
Found a fox that was killing their chickens, and despite all of its crimes, they felt bad for the animal, so they released it back into the wild.
Эй, Акела, привет!
This wolf asked a trucker for food, and the man wasn't afraid to feed the wild animal practically by hand.
So I want to show you, we took that mold last time.
These guys really wanted to help a duck without a leg, so they made a special prosthetic using 3D printing technology. Moment of truth.
Oh man, it's aligned properly. You just got to put it down.